Got a Twosun. It's a big box, man, and whatever's in here is filling this box pretty good. So I don't know, fixed blade maybe, or how about a behemoth? Yeah, I've been waiting on this one. What an interesting little knife. Notice I said little. Look at this thing. What the? Yeah, man. Wow. All right, I'm going to throw the oily bag away. Man. It's one of the reasons I like Twosun, man. Some of the stuff that comes is just stunning. Look at this thing. ts552 D2 steel. And even the designer, Dudnik Design. Come on, man. Dudnik. What are you doing, bro? I say that, but it could be a sister. I don't know. What are you doing, sister? Dudnik. Very cool. Oily, man. It's an oily piece. Woo. Black stonewash titanium. Black stonewash D2 blade. Black stonewash titanium pocket clip. Black stonewash titanium backspacer. Wow. I mean, I think I got it good enough for us to play with it for a second before we take it apart. Wow. A ts552. It's like a bolster lock. It's like a liner. It's a metal insert mounted to the inside of that scale. Wow. Man alive. It's got these big fullers. Yeah, that works. Spidey flick. Thumb flick. It's got big thumb studs. And they're black stonewashed. Not so much. I'm going to have to put some wrist into it. And the reason being is because they are way up to the top. And man alive, is that a lot of blade that you have to get the momentum going for that. I'll try the Spidey flick, but I'm not going to try too hard. Yeah, nah. What about that front flipper? It's got this big front flipper here. Oh, yeah, again, there's so much steel out here that the momentum required to get that moving. I mean, I just did it, but wow. Let's run a magnet on all this stuff, see. So yeah, the studs are titanium. And I thought so because that looks like a familiar thumb stud that I've seen on other Twosun models. The scales, obviously, the blade is D2. The hardware is steel. The back spacer is titanium. And the pocket clip is titanium. Wow. What a lockup, man. This thing locks up. I mean, come on, homie. What's up with this thing? Wow. It is huge. All right, let's get in it. I'm only pressing to get in it really because it's oily. There's like oil all over it. I want to check this lock and see where we're at. I mean, the thing is completely guillotine shut. You got to get your fingers out of the way because that blade will come and get you. But yeah, I mean, it smacks closed with authority. The fuller appears to be the best opening method. Yeah. And I do like this blade shape. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those that as a Twosun collector, it kind of makes me go, oh, I can't wait to get my hands on one of those. Yeah. I think I'm going to have to pull that pocket clip. Let me check the tension on it. Oh, yeah. It's got a mountain of tension. It's all T8s. And looking at this pocket clip, 100% that's reversible. Yeah, so a little bit of lefty love, especially with this, like a bolster lock or a liner lock. You know, you could just flip that pocket clip and, man, this thing would run easily, equally well for a left-hander or a right-hander. Man, look at the pool of oil going on in here. Yeah, I mean the lock's solid. I'm not going to change that. I would like to get that up just to get the oil out of there. Ooh, it's got more than its fair share of oil. I think that one's screwed into that backspacer. Yep, there it comes. All right. Nice amount of skeletonizing in there. Try to keep the weight down, which, I mean, they did the same thing on the pocket clip, I'm guessing. You know, they milled it up just to try to keep the weight down. It is kind of a aesthetic feature as well. The stonewash is gorgeous on this knife. Beautiful stonewashing. And then they cleaned it out on the blade here for the bearing to run in there. Nice little touch. Versus it having to go in there and cut a path on that stonewash. Got a nice smooth surface. Big stop pin recessed into the titanium on both sides. Yeah, yeah. I know a lot of y'all that hang out here are Twosun fans, and so surely you've seen D-Win drop this knife a while back, like I did. It's like, okay, come on, man. I mean, you really got to have a specific use for such a large knife, and I don't. But as a collector of things Twosun, you know I was getting it. Come on, man. Well, and Timber's Edge is a dealer for Twosun now, so that really helps my ability to put these Twosuns in my hands. And so not only does it allow me to do that, but like this particular knife, you probably will find over on Timber's Edge for sale. Yep. They're starting to inventory and carry the Twosun product over there. Which, you know, they're U.S. based, and so you order over there a couple of days, you know, U.S. mail. You should have it at your place. 3 to 5 days, I think, is what they promise. Which I don't think they promise it. I just think that they say that's standard ship time for continental U.S. shipments. It's 3 to 5 days. So you can get your Twosun picks pretty quick now. And my understanding is that's only going to increase. They're going to continue to increase that inventory. There's so much oil it even got on the magnet. It's like I'm chasing it around the desk here. Okay. Well, let's put it back together. Well, it's like I have this Ronald Reagan impression going now. It's weird. I can't escape it. I wonder if I should put that screw in or wait. And let's put it in, because if I wait, end up with alignment issues and big struggle. Might as well just slap it on in there and be done with it. I think all these look the same. These two are pocket clip. These three, yep. But I only need one. There'll be only one. There we go. Does that pull out? Yep. Let's put it on that side. All right. Let's go with a little bit of oil. How about that? Just a tiny little bit. Oh, what a slab. It's a donkey. Wow. All right. This screw. Well, that's the barrel screw. I mean, those two screws looked exactly the same. Okay, so that's correct. Now, can I get this front correct? The head of this screw has to be bigger than this screw right here. Yep. And the bigger head It's got to go back here. Yep. It's like one of those finger puzzles, like when you're at your grandma and grandpa's for Christmas, that they always have Thanksgiving, they always have all those little brain teaser puzzles. That's what that was like. I mean, the process of elimination. Eventually, it's like, all right, well, it's got to be that screw. Yep, sure enough. Good, man. I mean, you gotta get your fingers out of the way, because this thing, it's a finger remover. I mean, if it doesn't have a name, I'm gonna name it the finger remover, because I have to turn here, because any type of vertical like this, that blade's coming down and trying to catch my fingers. So if you notice, I'm turning here so that I can go there. Oh, man, this thing. Let's get the pocket clip back on, because the pocket clip does aid, and like most knives, it aids in the ergonomics. It's giving me something to hold on to. Whew. What a beast, man. I'll try to give an idea of how much these are. As I'm doing this video, I'm not sure if I'm going to have access to that, though. We'll see. I mean, oh my goodness. Yeah, the thing that comes to mind for sure is, that's not a knife. That's a knife. I mean, yeah, wonderful. I mean, let's talk about the action. We'll keep this video rolling here. It's 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 insane. It's A+ action. There's no question about it. Now the question comes, for how hard it closes like that, and the potential for catching your fingers. Do I subtract for that? Reaching in here, it's scalloped on the non-show side. It's scalloped on the liner lock itself, the steel insert, and so reaching in there is very intuitive, and it's not over tensioned. It's got great tension to reach in there and get it. I mean, I'm gonna knock a hole in my table with this donkey of a blade. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to say it's an A+. I'm trying to think of ways to not do it, but it's all not really action associated. The action on this is just as smooth as butter. It's a guillotine. The thumb flick, the spidey flick, you got to use that fuller. You know what? I'll give it an A. And here's why I'm going to give it an A. Because them thumb studs, they were placed too high in the knife to really be used. If they were down, they're just not very usable. I'm going to try here. Yeah, I used it pretty good there. I wonder if I can do it without throwing my wrist. Yeah. If I can get the spidey flick, I'll give it the plus back. But if I can't get the spidey flick, then I'm going to stick with the A. Yeah, no way. What about the front flipper? Oh my goodness. If I couldn't have got that front flipper, I was going to drop it to an A-. Yep. Wow. Ergonomics. So obviously all this milling makes this thing really grippy in hand. And you can go all the way up into here. You can stay back here. Um, Not so confident, confident, very confident. I mean, if I get up here, I'm gonna, the blade itself is producing a pretty good finger guard. I mean, I'll take it up to a confident grip. I mean, it does have a tip, but I don't think it was meant to poke. That tip's to cut, not necessarily plunge and penetrate. So I'm not going to go too far with that. What about reversing this? Yeah, I mean, now this is definitely doable, but I can't really cap it. I can cap it this way, but there's enough of a slant this way on this back that I can't really cap that. And so, but is it enough of a handful? Like if I wanted to burrow into something, I think so. I mean, ultimately, I think this is for just taking fingers off. Whether it's like this as a meat cleaver type thing or shutting the knife, closing it up. Whack. Let's check that pocket clip. Would you put it in your pocket? I mean, good for you if you would, because what a cool piece to pull out of your pocket. Yeah, and it is a F5 pocket clip in the thick material. And what I mean by that is even as heavy, oh my goodness, as this knife is, once in pocket, this thing could get picked up by a tornado and thrown 200 miles away. Somebody find these laying in a field somewhere, and this knife would be connected to them right there. What about standard jean size material? Yeah, a little easier to get in and out, but again, the tension on that and subsequently the retention is excellent, and it kind of masks how big of a knife this is. If you look at this pocket clip, I mean, it's substance, but you have no idea that there's this machete underneath there. Yeah, the pocket clip works well. Whew. What about safety? Come on, man. Yeah, so I'm touching the blade right there. As soon as I put my finger there, I'm touching the sharp part of the blade. Now, they did good. They brought that backspacer all the way up, but unfortunately, the width of this gap and the depth of that blade, I'm making full blade contact right there. Yeah, especially right there. I'm on the sharp part of that blade big time. Biggie time. What about the tip? Yeah, the tip's crazy exposed too. I can see it. I didn't even have to go hard at it, but it's right there. And so if this was down in my pocket, front pocket here, and I went like this to get in, I could very easily just run my finger across the tip of that blade. So the pocket clip's excellent. The tip is exposed and the blade's exposed through the scales in the back. Yep. How sharp can you get that quarter of an inch of blade stock? How sharp? Well, let's find out. Yeah, crazy sharp. Great job from the factory. This edge is a razor blade. Wonderful. All right, let me see if I can figure out a price for this. Give you some kind of idea what you can expect to pay for this behemoth of a knife. Yeah, I'm guessing these are going to be around $100. That's the indicator I'm getting is that this big beast of a knife is going to be around $100. And if you just think about, I mean, it's like two knives in one. So if, a smaller version of this, full titanium with this black stonewash would be worth, $50. It's not unreasonable to think that this one would be probably around $100. And that's absolutely probably where this is going to fall in. Yeah. I mean, and who can pass up a knife by the designer Dudnick? Yeah, ts552 D2 steel. I mean, interesting. Pretty cool. Appreciate you watching.